Terrified to see hiding in the darkness, colder when it's twilight. I've been feeling restless, terrified to see hiding in the darkness, colder when it's twilight. I've been feeling restless.
Hey, we are back at it again, guys. Tonight we are going to be racing with the Formula One Racing League around Mexico. There we've got Chris, Tyler, and Matko in the chat. You're covering Div 2 tonight. Oh, did I say Div 1? I could have said Div 1. Hold up. Did I say Div 1? Let me have a quick look on my YouTube. Oh no, I didn't say anything. Alright, so I'm covering Div 2 tonight. We've got a one-shot qualifying. Oh, my music is still on. Hold up. I've got a one-shot qualifying, a sprint race, and a 50% race tonight. So we will be having some interesting things happening during the sprint race and hopefully also during the race. It all depends on whether the guys are going to be clean and smooth around Mexico. One of the most beautiful tracks around there, as we've got Vindog. We're on board with Vindog coming through Sector 2 at the moment. Sector 2... a very difficult sector. You've got those fast left-right-handers in Sector 2 coming around turn 7 there as we're heading into turn 8. Fast left-hander, then a fast right-hander, another fast left-hander, a fast right-hander. That's where you're going to end up in a fast left-hander. You've got down the straight into turn 12. There is opportunity here coming around that little straight, turn 12 this is. And you want to touch that curb as much as possible down the inside. Then he does that beautifully, going through this fast left-hander. So just need to make sure that my PlayStation sound is actually working. There we go, lads. So Rhino Hussey already came across the line. Vindog puts himself in P9. So we will be having Rhino Hussey in P1, P-Tomo in P2, and a Mr. Insomniac in P3. The Ferrari boys both have done a great job qualifying here in P2 and P3 around Mexico. And I'm really wondering to see what strategies these guys will be going on, because sometimes we see a soft tire for a sprint race, sometimes we see a medium tire, and sometimes even the guys choose to go up to the hards. But that is a question for later. Here we've got the standings for now. Rhino Hussey in P1, P-Tomo in P2, and Mr. Insomniac in P3. For we've got Murph, Groen, Sean, we've got Melanade, Foxy, Vindog, Chef Badger, Sacco, Widget, Apex Joe, Reaper, Oranje Boom, X, Geldy, Thatcher, Youngie, and Vettel. Youngie, the championship leader, has not been able to put a qualifying lap on the board. He's going to be all the way in P19. Also, Vettel himself, the German, is going to start in P20. And then we've got Thatcher also not been able to put a good qualifying lap in. Geldy didn't even try. He just retired, I think. He's in the Alpine car. But we're going to go back to the front of the grid as we've got Rhino Hussey on pole during the sprint race. I hope everyone is doing well in this on this Thursday evening. We're covering Div 2 here for the Formula One Racing League. As you know, Mexico, it's a very beautiful track. As I said before at the beginning of the qualifying, you know, it's that kind of track where you're going to have a lot of battles, where you're going to have some good racing. A lot of track limits, though. That is something you see quite often around Mexico. But apart from that, I think the racing will be pretty good, pretty smooth. I think, you know, Sector 1 is that kind of sector where a lot of guys crash into each other. You've got turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, that corner section. Right, left, right. It's quite slow, which is usually very well known for its contact into turn 1 when someone is going too deep or too... it's usually in turn 2 and turn 3, though. Turn 1 is kind of a setup corner. And then heading into turn 4, you've got turn 5, which is usually well known for its undercut. Switchback. You've got turn 6 and turn 7, which is going to be that fast, two fast right-handers. Well, I mean, slow right-handers. Then you're heading into the difficult part of the track where a lot of guys are going to crash out, Oh, we've got 5 red lights here ready for the sprint. I thought I was going to be able to take a sip, but apparently I'm not. 5 red lights here in Formula 1 racing, and off we go. The Reaper with a drive-through penalty jump start from the start. That is not great. Let us have a quick look with the position changes here real quick. Rhino Hussey takes the lead of the race. Pitomo getting chased from behind by his teammate, Mr. Insomniac. Tried to go around the outside. They're going 3 wide into turn 1. Pitomo down the inside. Pitomo around the outside. We're looking at Pitomo at the moment. He's battling with his teammate, Mr. Insomniac, not leaving any room for his teammate, and he takes the lead of the race. Rhino Hussey lost 2 positions there. Mr. Insomniac still trying to get past Pitomo, and he manages to do so. Going into turn 4, Pitomo right the outside, leaves enough space for his teammate down the inside. Mr. Insomniac trying to defend from Rhino Hussey there in P3. He's going off track. Rhino Hussey tries to go down the inside, sticks to the toe of that Ferrari driver, almost pushes him wide, but enough room has been given by Mr. Insomniac. We've got a new race leader. That is going to be Pitomo. Both the Ferrari guys currently in P1 and P2. And Rhino Hussey still in the tail. There goes Pitomo in the wall. And that is going to be a broken front wing. I can assure you that. A safety car situation already. And we've got a chance to look at the tires. Tire-wise, we're looking at Merv starting on the mediums. And he's currently in P3. Melanate on the soft tires. Both Mr. Insomniac and Rhino Hussey started on the soft tires. Pitomo, quite interestingly enough, he started on the medium tires. So it's quite uncommon that he took the lead of the race, made the overtake on both soft tire runners, and you know that's the thing with racing. Murph coming into the pits, he's probably got a broken front wing. Groen up a position due to that. Let me have a quick look at the position changes. Mr. Widget being one of the biggest winners here. Also Vettel and Youngie. Youngie gained 8 positions. Vettel gained 10 positions. A lot of guys are coming into the pits already, possibly putting on those soft tires. Murph putting on another set of medium tires. Very interesting. Chef Badger lost 5 positions. The biggest loser of the evening is going to be Tomo. Still in the pit lane. Possibly has to change the front wing. Indeed he does. We want to go to the front of the grid. Malinate in P3 at the moment. The AlphaTauri driver gained 4 positions, qualified in P7. Not a bad result at all. So we might want to take a quick break and look at the... well, not really a break. A quick deeper look into the Drivers' Championship. Because we've got Youngie currently leading the championship in P1. He's got a good amount of points. He actually has about... let me have a quick look. Driver standings. He's got about 182 points for the McLaren team. Then we've got the Reaper in P2 and Dynastic in P3. Murphy in P4, so not a bad result. We saw him coming into the pits quite early during this safety car already, so he will be dropping back to P18. Tomo will possibly lose a couple of positions too after this crash. But of course, we still have a lot of positions to gain during the actual race. This is only for a small amount of points. So the winner gets 8 points, if I'm not mistaken. And we go 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then nobody else scores any points. So it's 8 people scoring points here during the sprint race, but it's not too many. Rhino Hussey, who's currently in P2 on the field, is all the way in P7 in the Drivers' Championship. Mr. Insomniac in P8. So both those drivers will score a lot of points for their Drivers' Championship. You know, Mr. Insomniac, he had a very unfortunate race in Abu Dhabi. I think he crashed out, and then he didn't participate in France. And all the other races, he was around the top, you know, the top 10, top 15, top 10, top 5. The beginning of the season was better than the end of the season. No, actually it wasn't. He's been quite consistent all around. But here's the thing. Tomo, he's been more consistent at the end of the season. I mean, at the middle of the season than at the end of the season. We've still got half a season to go, as we're currently in round 8. And after that, we still have 5 more races to go. So 13 races here on the calendar. Not bad at all, if I can be honest about that. Quite a long season, I do have to say that. And we are almost covering all the races that are there on the actual F1 calendar. Let me have a quick look. Melanade, where is that guy? He is all the way in. I think he's a new driver. Vettel is also a new driver. He crashed out in Saudi Arabia last week. But where is that Melanade guy? He's all the way in P21. He scored 21 points last week in Saudi Arabia. And apart from that, we haven't seen him before. I think that must be a P4, which he scored last week. Standby driver. A lot of standby drivers here in Division 2. Man, this safety car isn't... Man, the safety car is so not 2021. Not sure what you mean, buddy. Not sure what you mean, but he's coming into the pits. Actually, why is it not an Aston Martin safety car anymore? It's a Mercedes safety car. Why is that? Isn't it usually an Aston Martin safety car? Well, it doesn't matter. Mr. Insomniac coming around the last corner. As he's already going to start. No, he's going to wait. No, he's going to start. Oh, what is happening here? Mr. Insomniac going. As Rhino Hussey got caught sleeping a little bit. Melanade on the tail of that McLaren driver. Here he comes down the straight. And he's going to make that overtake down the inside. He uses a lot of ERS. He's saved up during that safety car. But he makes the overtake down the inside. Goes back onto the racing line. And Melanade gained the position up to 5 positions already. And Sean up a position on Foxy. Foxy went off track there a little bit. Got a 3-second time penalty. And he's got... he's losing another position. Groen making the overtake around the outside. Here comes Foxy. He's going to lose another position to Sako Zaz. Doesn't look like it. At the back of the field, we've got a lot of guys trying to catch up to the front guys. Mainly Merv, the Reaper, who's currently in P2 in the Drivers' Championship. So he has lost a lot of positions too. There is a Widget off track. Not sure what happened to him. Possibly a collision with some of the drivers. Renjeboom Brown, who now makes an overtake on the Williams drivers. We might want to have a quick look with Tomo here. Doesn't look like he's able to gain any positions for now. Rhino Hussey has made the overtake. There goes Widget again in the wall. And luckily, Tomo did not go into the back of him. Renjeboom Brown trying to catch up, as we might want to go back to the front of the field. Sako Jazz on the tail of Foxy, possibly not having the DRS, I think. Because the DRS is only going to be enabled next lap, if I'm not mistaken. Vindog with a 3-second time penalty, though, and the penalties are starting to flow. Oh, and another safety car. Somebody has crashed out. Possibly Widget. Let's just have a quick look. Does he have a broken front wing? I can't tell you for sure. But what I can tell you is that I'm going to blow my nose real quick. There we go. So another safety car situation. We'll just be chilling, you know. I don't think anyone is necessarily going to come into the pits. I don't think it's very needed for the guys to come into the pits either. The medium tire runners, you know. Yeah, maybe they can go onto the soft tires. There's still 7 more laps to go, but you will lose many positions if you come into the pits right now. Because, for example, if we've got Sean coming into the pits at the moment, he would drop back all the way to possibly P17. We've got Vettel currently in P10. He's gained 10 positions, so did Youngie. So Youngie managed to make the overtake on the German driver. Oh, my bad, guys. I don't know if you heard that sound. I was trying to throw away a bottle of water. Because I'm consuming a lot of salt lately. And I feel like, you know, salt is making you thirsty every now and then. So trying to serve my drive-through, and the safety car just fucked it over. Oh, mate, that is so unfortunate. Yeah, that is so unfortunate. Did you not serve your drive-through? I definitely did not service drive-through. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Because, you know, I don't know how that works. If you come into the pits and you already are in the pit lane and the safety car comes out, can you serve it? I don't think you can you? That is actually so bad. That is so bad. Nothing you can do about it, though. Nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. So Mr. Insomnia taking the lead of the race. He's been there for quite some time already. As we're still behind the safety car, don't think the safety car will come into the pits yet. But that also means we will only be having 2 laps of DRS opportunities, if I'm not mistaken. Because the safety car comes in next lap. When we're heading into lap 8, that means that 2 laps behind the safety car will be 10. So lap 11 and 12, we will be having DRS. And Foxy, with that 3-second time penalty, that's definitely gonna ruin his chances of getting good points here during that sprint race. Because as I said before, the guys who are going to be in the top 8 are going to be scoring points. So Apex Joe is currently going to score 1 point. Well, basically 2 if he gains that position to Foxy. Thatcher retired from the session and he's left the session. And I don't think you can retire on track. I'm not 100% sure about that, but he did it anyway. He thought, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And he did it. No shame. No shame, no glory. That's my motto. So Thatcher, who also had that drive-through penalty, I think he was just getting bored at the back of the field and, you know, getting that drive-through penalty. You'd have to come to the pits, serve that drive-through penalty, possibly be about 32, well, no, not 32, 23, 22 seconds behind all the other guys. But yeah, it's a lonely race, and if that happens during the actual race, I think around Mexico you've got about 35 laps, if I'm not mistaken. So 35 laps on Mexico, and you're 20 seconds behind someone. If that happens during an actual race, though, it's just such a boring race. The race usually takes about 45 minutes, but it's gonna feel like you're racing for 3 hours already. And I don't wish that to anyone, like upon anyone. Is that how you say it? Wish that upon anyone? I think it is. My English vocabulary is getting better day after day. Just gonna listen if the quality of the live stream is still alright. Should be alright though, but you know, you never know with these technologies. Yeah, the quality seems to be alright. It's quite funny. Sitting and everything, and we're coming around the last sector to restart the safety car situation. And Mr. Insomniac is taking the lead again. And I'm wondering when he's gonna go. He's gonna wait, he's gonna wait, he's gonna wait, he's gonna wait, he's gonna wait even longer than he did before. I had a little bit of a snap there coming around the last corner. Melonade down the inside again of Rhino Hussey. Will he make the same overtake like he did before, draining all of his heroes down the straight? Here comes Melonade down the inside up into P2. Possibly he's gonna make the overtake on Mr. Insomniac too. Doesn't look like it. Sean making the overtake. Getting overtaken actually by Groon down the inside. Has the inside line. And Sean trying to make the switchback work, but it didn't work. 3-second time penalty for Groon already. As Sean up into P4 again. Makes the overtake on Groon. As I don't think Groon can give any resistance there. Because Sean has been on the street lately. I think he's been, you know, these last couple of races have been pretty well for the Mercedes driver. And look at where he's now. He's in P4. Getting 4 positions. Not bad at all. Rhino Hussey still on the tail of that AlphaTauri driver. And I think these two will be battling till the end of this sprint race. And that is not a good sign because they're going to lose a toe off Mr. Insomniac. Maybe with Rhino Hussey making the overtake on the outside, he will be able to get back to the Ferrari driver. But it doesn't look like it. Almost a crash there between the both of them. But just enough room given by Rhino Hussey for Melonade to, you know, back out that move. Sean now on the tail of Melonade. Possibly an overtake down the straight. Will depend on how many wings he's running. Oh, and he's going to drain all of his ERS already. There's still 3 more laps to go, Sean. Spare some ERS for the rest of us. Well, for yourself, basically, because I'm not going to use any ERS. Here comes Youngie down the inside of the Alpine driver. Don't think he will make that overtake. Is not using any ERS either. Groen making the overtake on Sean. He's having the inside line. Sean around the outside. He's going to back out of it. Groen with enough speed and enough traction coming through that first sector. Now Sean is going to try and make that overtake again. He was draining all of his ERS. Doesn't have any single ERS left. Youngie, who finally makes the overtake on Apex Joe around the outside. And Seco Jazz is trying to make the overtake too. I think the Alpine driver went a little bit too fast onto the throttle, onto the brakes. And he still makes the overtake though. So no worries there. Seco Jazz is having that annoying Alfa Romeo down his inside. And Vettel makes the overtake at the moment. It seems like Seco Jazz is rather losing positions than gaining any. Geldy on the tail of that Aston Martin driver, now coming through the S's. Youngie seems to have made an overtake. Sean in the wall! He crashed out. Did he get crashed out? And another safety car. How can we have 3 safety cars during a sprint race? That is seriously a good question. I think we're gonna break my record of amount of safety cars that we are ever gonna have in a race. Oh, and a drive-through penalty for like in a weekend. I mean, in a session. I think we'll have a record. My record is 7 or 8, if I'm not mistaken, with a sprint and a... Oh, and another drive-through penalty. He got 2 drive-through penalties. Why is that? But my record is 3 during a safety car and 5 during a race, I think. So I'm really wondering whether we can save that. I mean, break that record. That would be crazy. I didn't think that was ever going to happen around Mexico. Oh, and he got disqualified from the session. Okay, well, there goes X. He's going to be... And another drive-through. What is happening here? Let me have a quick look. Ah, he got disqualified. All right, fair enough. He got 3 drive-through penalties. Not sure how that ever happens, but as I said, you know, my last, the last record was set on Abu Dhabi. No, not Abu Dhabi. I think it was Azerbaijan with the Phoenix Racing League. 3 safety cars during the sprint and 5 safety cars during the race. Absolute record. And I'm not sure whether that is going to be possible today. I mean, we already have 3 safety cars and a virtual safety car. So can you consider that as a safety car? I'm not sure. Safety car is coming in this lap though. Safety car is coming in this lap. We've got green flags pretty soon. Yeah, Ryan Hussey on the tail of Mr. Insomniac for the 3rd time around. Coming around the last corner as the sprint race is almost over. Still 2 more laps to go after this one. So when they come around the last corner, it will be 2 more laps to race for these guys. Might want to go on board with Rhino Hussey or see when Mr. Insomniac is going to go. Already a little bit of accelerating here for the Ferrari driver. Needs to watch out. Around the last corner he comes. Once again, not having a great start. I think Rhino Hussey might be able to make that overtake. And here comes Melanade again. It's the three-peat. It's the 3rd time this ever happens. Well, Melanade is not going for the move. He's not draining all of the ERS he's got. Rhino Hussey is going to wait and stay behind Mr. Insomniac. Mr. Insomniac, who used all of his ERS down that first straight. It seems like Groen is trying to make the overtake on the AlphaTauri. Oh, there goes Mr. Insomniac. And a little step there from Groen. Youngie might be able to make that overtake. And then all of a sudden, Youngie came from P20 all the way to P4 already in only 11 laps. Might be able to take the lead of the race. He's already having a P3 because Groen has a 3-second time penalty. A little bit of touchiness there between Youngie and Groen. As Foxy has got 6 seconds already. Not sure what that is for. Vettel also has a 3-second time penalty, but you know, 6 seconds during a race is definitely, I mean, during a sprint race is definitely not great. We've got Youngie on the tail of Groen. Once again, we're coming around the last sector of this penultimate lap. There's a lot of guys are making an overtake. Tomo crashed out. It's going to be a DNF. Not sure how the hell the Ferrari boys can fuck it up this hard. You know, they're 1-2. They had a 1-2 at some point during this race, and look at where they are right now. Tomo at DNF and Mr. Insomniac all the way P15, so not great. I think Groen has a very high, very low wing, low downforce setup. Psycho Jazz making the overtake on the Alpine driver, as we might want to go on board with Youngie here again. Groen, who's not usually very smooth coming through that first part of the track, as you can see, having a little snap, and here comes Youngie. But Groen with that straight line speed once again, and I think Youngie knows that Groen doesn't have too much ERS left. He's going to save his ERS for that last straight, possibly not coming around the last corner, because that will not be an opportunity. Coming through turns 6 and 7, Vindok with a 5-second time penalty, and here goes Youngie! And he is oh mate, what is happening here? I feel like everyone is having a slippery car. Slippery tires, or whatever you want to call it. Might be too much tire pressure though, that they're just spinning all over the place. Vettel trying to make the overtake on Foxy. He doesn't need to worry about anything, because he's going to make the overtake anyway. Foxy's got 6 seconds of time penalties. Vettel, who just wants to create some kind of gap to the guys behind. Rhino Hussey also got a 3-second time penalty, so it will be Melonade running. Oh, and another 3-second time penalty for Foxy. Not sure what's happening there. Foxy not really very great with keeping the penalties where they should be. Not in the car, of course. Not on next to your name. But Psycho Jazz takes P3. A very unexpected result there for the Aston Martin team. As they're currently in P3, P4. We've got both the McLaren drivers. After that qualifying, I didn't think they were going to be in the top 5, both of them. But apparently they were. Rhino Hussey in P2, and we've got Youngie in P5. We've got both the Alpine drivers also doing a good job getting some points for the team. Might want to focus on the results in a couple of seconds. Just going to take a quick sip of water because I didn't have the chance earlier. SLR Vettel is driver of the day. I would argue with you there. I think it might have been Youngie too. I'm not sure. Okay, so here we go. Sprint results. That looks like Daniel Ricciardo. Quite funny because he's also racing in the AlphaTauri. But Melonade in P1, Rhino Hussey in P2, and Seco Jazz in P. It's actually Seco Zaz, but I'm just gonna keep calling him in Seco Jazz because it's a little bit easier for me. So Groen in P4, Youngie in P5, Vettel in P6, Geldi in P7, Apex Joe in P8, Widget in P9, and Oranjeboom in P10. Further, we've got Murph, the Reaper, Chef Badger, Foxy, who dropped back to P14 due to those penalties, Mr. Insomniac in P15, Vindok in 16, and then we've got our DNFs Tomo, Sean, Thatcher, and X. Alright, so we will be taking a very small break of about 30 seconds. So I'm just going to check out my phone, see if I've got any messages. And apart from that, we are good to go. So it will be a very long race, 35 laps. So I'm really wondering how many DNS we will be having, because it's 3 times the size of this race. And, you know, it'll be painful. It'll be very painful because the main reason there is, you know, the tires are going to be done. The races are going to be very tired because usually you would only be doing a 18-minute qualifying and you'd only do 2 or 3 laps. But now they already did 12 laps and they have to do 35 laps on top of that during the actual race. So it looks like we are taking a 5-minute break here, guys. Oh no, we're ready to go. We've got no formation lap. So we're currently in Season 4, Round 8 of the season here in Formula 1 racing. And it's 5 red lights and away we go. Youngie already making the overtake on Groen. It seems like Rhino Hussey is trying to go down the inside. They're going side by side down the straight. Who will take the lead of the race? It seems like it's going to be Melonade, who's got too much straight line speed. Rhino Hussey still trying to go down the inside. Makes a deep dive bomb. Rhino Hussey around the outside on the soft tires, and he takes the lead of the race. And he spins! He spins, but he still keeps the position. Although there was a car parallel with the with the track. Who was that? I have no idea. Rhino Hussey now in P2. Youngie made a position to Groen. as Geldy all of the sudden is in P5. Let's have a quick look with the position changes here. Who has lost so many positions? It looks like that is going to be Seko Jazz. Might have been Seko Jazz. Rhino Hussey back into the lead of the race. After I think Melanated was trying to make the overtake. Didn't look like it. Vettel up into P7. Did lose a position though. Merv gained 5. So once again, a good start there from Merv, the Mercedes driver. As you might want to have a quick look with a Vindog here who's on the tail of Apex Joe, making the overtake around the outside up into P9 for the Williams driver Widget, who dropped 2 positions. And it doesn't look like Sean has gained any positions during that first lap of the race. Both the Ferrari drivers having a heated battle with each other again. Yellow flag in sector 3. That is going to be X, who's already 4 seconds down on the rest of the guys. I think one of the Ferrari guys is ghosted. Or is that not one of the Ferrari guys? We might want to go on board with Tomo here. Down the straight he comes, down the inside, and that is going to be move done on Chef Badger. And what is Widget doing? He's making the overtake down the inside of Apex Joe. Now the Red Bull driver trying to go around the outside. That was, of course, Jeff. No, that was not Chef Badger. That was the Reaper. Reaper trying to get in that top 10. He's got a very difficult opponent to go up against. Foxy around the outside, has the inside line. And will the Reaper try to make switchback work? He's got that Ferrari car down the inside. Foxy going off track a little bit. The Reaper trying to go down the inside, and he's got some room, but he didn't go for it. So you might want to have a quick look with the tires here. Soft tires for Rhino Hussey, Murph, Groen, Vindog. So basically, in the top 7, we've only got the soft and the medium tire runners. And the hard tire runners will be Vettel, Seko, and we've got the Reaper and X all the way at the back of the grid. We've got Vettel having a heated battle with Vindog here. Vettel going around the outside. Vindog having the inside line. Beautifully done there by the Williams driver. Now Vettel is trying to get around that Williams driver as soon as possible because they're both losing time to Groen. Vettel battling with the soft tire runner, so nothing he could do here except for overtaking down the straight. And I think Vindog does not have any ERS left. We're only in lap 3, so still 33 more laps to go, and he doesn't have any single ERS left in the tank. Vettel tried to go down the inside. Now Widget making the overtake on Seko Jazz. Foxy and Apex Joe having a heated battle through sector 1 there. Apex Joe trying to make a switchback work. It's not going to work, I'm afraid. The Red Bull driver, no, it is going to work. Here comes Apex Joe making the overtake around the outside of Foxy Joe. And the Reaper comes into the middle of both of them. Takes 2 positions at the same time. Foxy also making the overtake on Apex Joe. A little bit of an awkward line there for the Alpine driver. What will Tomo be doing? Around the outside he goes, but he does not make it up a move there. Might want to go back to the front of the grid. Merv on the tail of Melanade. We've got a 3-way, 4-way, 5-way battle actually between P2 and P6. Rhino Hussey has just shot off all the way into the distance. 1.8 seconds to P2, his teammate already. Youngie, who started in P2 during this qualifying. And he's already in P20, my apologies. He started in P20 during the qualifying, during the sprint race, and he's already in P2 after 15 laps, which is absolutely amazing. Someone crashed, I think that was Vettel. As we see that Vindog already made the overtake again on the Alfa Romeo driver. It seems like Sean is having a heated battle with Orion Boomround. Here comes Vettel down the inside. This will be his opportunity. But will it be enough for the Alfa Romeo driver? It does look like it. The Williams driver trying to make a switchback work, but it's not going to work. Vettel up into P7. Beautifully done on the hard tires. And he's going to be able to take those hards on the long run, possibly for about 20 laps. And then he has to switch on to the medium tires or the soft tires if he thinks there's going to be a late safety car. And that is something you can play into when you're on the hard tires. So all the guys who've started on the hard tires actually did not have a bad race. What is Foxy doing? What is Foxy doing? He's letting everyone go through. He did not retire from the session, did he? I think he just missed his braking point. Went all the way straight. Did not want to cause any issues for anybody else. But he's dropped back all the way to P18. Murph trying to catch up to Melanade. Melanade has got his hands full with Youngie. I think what Youngie is doing is trying to keep that AlphaTauri driver behind him for as long as possible so that Rhino Hussey can run away, because he needs to create some kind of gap. Rhino Hussey on those soft tires, he will have to come into the pit squad early during this race already. Of course, if there is no safety car, if there is a safety car, he even has to come earlier. Merv on the tail of Melanade, but we know that Melanade has a lot of straight line speed, but so does Merv. Down the inside he goes. DRS wide open. ERS wide open for Merv. Mercedes driver making the overtake, and he's going to make an overtake on the McLaren driver. Does look like it, but does go into the back of him. As Melanade has to yield from that position. Now he's got a hungry Alpine driver right on his tail. Geldy, who was here last season too. He saw a lot of his friends promote to Div 2. Geldy down the inside, as he almost made that move on the AlphaTauri driver. And as I said, Geldy seeing all of his friends, all of his favorite drivers who he raced up against. Bobinator, you know, it was the other Aston Martin driver in Div 1 right now. I'm not sure what his name is. Brad Races, he saw Sheepy Kev all go to Division 1, and he was the one driver from the top 5, I think, last season who did not promote to Div 1. Might be consistency, might be, you know, I'm not too sure what it is. Might be pace, just general pace. The consistency is there, but the pace is not there. Not sure what the exact reason was, but he did not promote to Div 1. And we've got our first virtual safety car in lap 5. So that promises something, as we've got our first driver coming into the pits. Youngie coming into the pits already, going on to the mediums possibly to end the race on the soft tires. That could be a good strategy for all of these guys. He does not go on the medium tires. He chooses to go onto the hard tires. So what will Groen be going on? He will be going on to the hard tires. So all the guys who came into the pits go onto the hard tires. As I just saw that Tomo got a 5-second time penalty. So did Oranje Boom-Brown. And it seems like everyone is indeed going onto the hard tires to hopefully finish off the race on those tires. I'm not sure if that's very realistic, if I'm being honest, but I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Drive-through penalty for Vindog for speeding under the safety car. He will drop back from P3 all the way to the back of the grid. Oh, and we're racing again. Green flags and go, go, go. As we've got Merv chasing down Youngie, who's on those fresher tires, but so is Merv actually. They're both on those fresh hard tires. We've got a little group of 5 people, 6 people trying to go along with Youngie as we're coming through the S's at the moment. We've also got a big racing group here in P6 as we've got Mr. Insomniac trying to make a move down the inside. Beautiful overtake there from the Englishman as he's up into P6, and it did not look great for the Ferrari driver looking at the results from the sprint race. But at the moment he has done a great job getting into P6 already. And he might be up for some more positions. He's on 5 lap on medium, so I'm not sure what the strategy is for starting on the mediums. Do you go onto the hard tires at the end of the race, or do you switch over to the soft tires? Good question. Good question by myself. But Merv on the tail of Youngie at the moment. He will make that up position, I think, with the DRS. No, they don't have DRS yet, do they? Let me have a quick look. They do have DRS indeed. So Youngie, who kind of got bullied by the DRS from Merv there. Nothing he could have done, because, I mean, you cannot provide any speed down the straight out of nowhere. So nothing he could do. Neither can he do anything here, because we've got Merv having another DRS opportunity. So once you have DRS down that first straight, you will have DRS down that second straight too. It's just the same straight, is what they say, basically. So Merv coming through the S's at the moment with Youngie right on his heels. We've got Geldy trying to catch up to those two. All 3 drivers came into the pits quite early during this race already. I think they might want to finish the race on those hard tires, but I couldn't tell you for sure. Let's have a quick look with the position changes here real quick. Vindog gained the most positions. Rhino Hussey coming into the pits. That is possibly because he is on the soft tires. As we've got someone going off track, and he came on track a little bit dangerously there. Geldy making the overtake on Chef Badger. And Rhino Hussey, where is he going to end up in? We're not on track already. Merv with the fastest lap of 121.2. Rhino Hussey is going to be in front. No, he's going to be behind Youngie. So he's going to be behind Youngie. He's going to be behind Geldy. So he lost a bit of time. Chef Badger is also going to make the overtake. So the other guys actually did a splendid job coming into the pits during that virtual safety car. I think they gained about 2 seconds, 3 seconds maybe on Rhino Hussey, who did not come into the pits, and Vindog has to serve his drive-through penalty as soon as possible. I think this is the last lap where he's going to be able to serve it. Might be next lap, but I could totally be wrong. At the back of the grid, they're having a heated battle too. Thatcher on the tail of Sean. But Thatcher is not in the lobby anymore. He is ghosted. So Sean was basically, you know, battling an AI. He's now trying to catch up to Groon though, which is quite nice. He's gonna have the DRS. Let's go to the back, to the front of the grid as Apex Joe is catching up to the Reaper. And some good pace from the Alpine driver. I know him for quite some time now already, ever since I've done commentary for Formula 1 Racing League. He's also a very enthusiastic watcher of my live streams once I do some open lobbies, and he's always there, and I absolutely love racing against him. Sometimes we've got some questionable incidents, but that's not always his fault, as he's now going to try and make an overtake on the Reaper. Down the straight they go, but he's not going to be able to make that overtake. Coming back to the back of the grid here. Doesn't look like anyone is going to be able to make a move. It seems like Widget is having his hands full with Groon and Sean. Sean coming through that last part of the track. He's going to be on the tail of the Aston Martin driver. DRS wide open, but we know Groon has a lot of straight line speed. We know he has a lot of straight line speed, and he can possibly make the overtake on Widget. Here comes Groon on the tail of the Williams driver. A lot of straight line speed difference. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, and he goes down the inside. What will Sean be doing? He's not close enough yet. So that straight line speed for Groon is definitely giving him a lot of opportunities here during this race. He dropped back to P14 though. During that sprint race, he ended up in P4, currently in P14, so that means he dropped 10 positions, which is obviously not great, but I think he came into the pits already, so you kind of have to recalculate the amount of positions he's lost, because all the guys in front of him did not come into the pits yet. They gained a lot of positions, like Mr. Insomniac, for example. Foxy having a heated battle with the AlphaTauri driver. That might be Oranje Boom Brown, and it is indeed Oranje Boom Brown, right on the tail of Foxy. Oranje, who already has that penalty. I think it's a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, as they're now coming through the S's. And Oranje Boom Brown will have the benefit of being on the soft tires. Also depends on how old those soft tires are. I think Foxy is a little bit faster through the S's. Domo making the overtake on Chef Badger. I think Chef Badger is coming into the pits. Rhino Hussey making the overtake on Geldy as they're coming through sector 1 at the moment. Beautifully done by Rhino Hussey, and now he's back behind his teammate. He made the overtake on Vindog, he made the overtake on Geldy, as Vindog came into the pits, of course, to serve his drive-through penalty, so nothing can be blamed there. I mean, it can be blamed actually for getting that drive-through penalty, but you know, it is what it is. Chef Badger drops back to P18. And it's gonna be right behind his teammate, if I'm not mistaken. Who's his teammate? Reaper? Oh, it is the Reaper. Why is there two? Wait, hold up, I'm confused. Oh, it's an AlphaTauri, never mind. I thought it was blue. It wasn't blue, apparently, on the track map. Here comes Youngie on the tail of Merv. These two have been battling quite some time already. Yellow flag in sector 3. That might be an Alpine driver. That might be Geldy. No, that is going to be a Haas driver, letting everyone go through. Beautiful sportsmanship, like driving from X was a Haas driver for today. Merv on the tail of the Alpine driver. Here he comes down the inside. Apex Joe, there's nothing he could do. He does have the slipstream though. He's going to be able to keep the position. Look at that. A lot of straight line speed from Joe. Possibly because he's draining all of the ERS he's got. We've got a 3-wide opportunity here for the guys. Merv down the inside. Apex Joe. Oh, and the Red Bull driver goes a little bit too deep into that corner. Well, not really. He just turns a little bit too tight into that corner. It seems like Youngie made up 2 positions off that mistake from the Red Bull driver. This Youngie is now up into P6 and he's going down the inside. That was very close there from Youngie. He's almost making a move. He is making a move around the outside. The Mercedes driver, and there's a lot of wheel banging there between the guys. As Rhino Hussey tries to... Oh, this is really chaos. This is really chaos. Merv is possibly the biggest loser through that incident. Geldy is now making the overtake on Merv, and Merv was looking to gain a lot of positions, but apart from, you know, instead of gaining a lot of positions, he lost a lot of positions. So he's now stuck behind both Alpine drivers. Go down the inside he goes, and he makes a move on both of them. Beautifully done. Geldy makes the overtake on his teammate too. So you might want to go to Seko's ass on the tail of the Ferrari driver. He's outside that 1 second, as there's still 24 laps to go. kind of hoping for a safety car because my mind is very hurting. And I need to blow my nose again. I think I'm gonna blow my nose real quick. There's nothing exciting happening anyway. I'll be there in a second, guys. Oh, and look at that. Murph making the overtake on the Reaper. Geldy now trying to go around the outside. DRS wide open for the Alpine driver. And I think the Reaper, there's nothing he can do anyway. Down the inside he goes, but he doesn't have any DRS. He still tries to go down the inside. What will Apex Joe be doing? Will he take a benefit from this? Doesn't look like it. Geldy trying to go down the inside. Still down the inside. Here comes Geldy. Here comes the Austrian driver. And he takes that position from the Reaper. Sakozas in P4 at the moment, right behind Mr. Insomniac. And he's got the DRS, so he will be able to catch up to Mr. Insomniac. ERS wide open down the straight, and another Haas driver has crashed out. It might have been X. Apex Joe with a 3-second time penalty this time around. And Tomo, he's catching up to the Alpine driver, so we might need to keep our eyes open on that one. Sakozas will not have the DRS. No, he will be. That's very interesting. Coming around the last corner, he was about 1.1 seconds down on Mr. Insomniac, but it looks like he caught up again. And here he comes. Rhino Hussey also on the tail of Youngie. Might want to go on board with the Reaper here. Coming into the pits, switching tires, medium tires for the Reaper. What would Rune be doing? Go around the outside of Witchet. No, he's not going to. He will have the DRS, and that straight line speed difference is just... He didn't even have the DRS, and he already had a lot of speed more than Witchet had. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Here comes Seko Jazz on the tail of Mr. Insomniac. And he's catching up to the Ferrari driver though, but he's just barely there. He's barely there. He's got to patiently wait. I think these hard tires are going to be faster than the mediums of Mr. Insomniac at some point during the race. And at some point, Mr. Insomniac will have to come into the pits. Not sure about Seko's ass, but... Oh, and Foxy, another penalty. He's going to be in P14. And a yellow flag in Sector 2. What is happening there coming through turn 6 and 7? I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. Youngie has caught up to Seko's ass though. Down the straight they go. DRS wide open. And this time around, Seko's ass does not have the DRS. So Youngie will make the overtake down the inside. I think tire-wise, they're also looking at a little bit of a difference. Seko's ass on 13 lap old hards. The reason why he's gained so many positions is because he's on those hard tires. And that was very aggressive from Rhino Hussey from what I've seen. Let's go Max Verstappen, Regen. What do you mean, Badal? What do you mean, mate? Rhino Hussey on the tail of Youngie at the moment, as he's trying to make the overtake. But Rhino Hussey, I think he is on a little bit of fresher tires. He's a little bit faster than his teammate. So I think Youngie, what he might need to do is let his teammate go through. Because this time, it's just going to work negatively rather than positively for both of them. Because I think Rhino Hussey will be able to take Youngie with him back to Mr. Insomniac. But I don't think it will be the other way around. And Youngie not going to battle. DRS wide open. And it might be a three-way battle down the straight. Because both these drivers will have the DRS. Seko's ass 3.3 seconds down. So his tires are going to start running out of life. But it's quite surprising me that the medium tire runners are not coming into the pits yet. It seems like Melendate is still holding up strong at the lead of the race. Vettel currently in P2. Did not come into the pits yet. A lot of guys did not come into the pits yet. There's Rhino Hussey. He's not going to make the overtake on Youngie. And the Reaper in a heavy battle with Sean at the moment, all the way in P13. It seems like Sean lost the position. He's getting followed by Foxy, quite close. Sean coming into the pits. 8 lap old hards for the Mercedes driver. Not sure what tire he will be going on. Possibly medium tires? Could be medium tires. Oranje Boom Brown retired from the session in the pit lane. As that is going to be our first DNF of tonight. Ryan Hussey really on that tail of his teammate. And I think these two are not working together quite nicely. They're not working together quite well. And the problem there is they're just losing time to the top guys. And still, they have to come to the pits. But I think if they will be on fresher tires and these guys will have to finish the race on the hard tires, I think, you know, you're going to be in some kind of problem. If you're these two. And all seconds, all tenths, all time. Oh no, I thought Melanate crashed out, but he's just coming into the pits. 15-lap-old mediums. Where is he going to end up in? Possibly behind the Alpine driver, who's now coming around the last corner. Here comes Youngie down the inside. Rhino Hussey is possibly going to make the overtake also. Here comes Rhino Hussey. Yes, and he's making the overtake. I should have said 2 instead of also, but... Oh, who's that? Who's that? Who's that struggling there? That's an AlphaTauri driver. Did he retire from the session? Oh, that's Ryan Bone Brown's car. Fair enough. Now Rhino Hussey is making the overtake on Youngie. Youngie? He gave his position back to his teammate. I mean, not back, but he gave his position to his teammate. I think that's because Rhino Hussey has got more speed. Oh, and Vettel is in the wall. Vettel in the wall. Does he have a broken front wing? I would say so. That was a very nasty crash. And now the Aston Martin is making the overtake. Seco Jazz is just going to wait. Vettel back on track, but his tires will be overheated. Going through the S's at the moment. We've got a quite of a nice group here. We've got Vettel, Seco Jazz, Merv and Geldy all battling for that top 5 position. As Vindog currently getting a 3-second time penalty. He dropped back all the way to P13 after that drive-through penalty. But he caught up a couple of positions already. Melanate dropped back to P10. So he's going to be around this little group in a couple of seconds. I mean, in a couple of laps, I should say. We're halfway through the race. We still got 19 more positions, laps to go. Here comes Seco's ass making the overtake down the inside, down the straight. DRS wide open for Murph too. Down the inside he goes. Yes, he's just not got enough straight line speed to make the overtake on Vettel. Geldy is just basically waiting. He saw that, you know, this did not go well last lap. I mean, a couple of laps later, earlier. Oh my days. I'm just so tired of commentating lately. I mean, not tired of commentating. Not that I'm sick of it, but I'm just tired. You know, I want to go to sleep. Youngie back into P2. I think he had a little back and forward battle with his teammate there, but it seems like a Rhino Hussey took the position away from Youngie again. So we've got quite some good battles going on track at the moment. Vettel with a 3-second time penalty. Another penalty. I think that's his second already, isn't it? No, it's his first. It's his first. Murph now trying to go around the tail of the Alfa Romeo driver. And it's not looking quite well for the Mercedes driver. He's losing time to Seco Jazz, but luckily for him, Vettel can keep up with Seco Jazz. As they're now coming through the last part of the track. DRS will be wide open and Vettel might make an overtake on the Aston Martin driver. What did Mr. Insomniac do? He came into the pits. That is going to be his first pit stop. Vettel, who cannot benefit from the DRS he had. ERS, he doesn't have any ERS left. Nobody has any ERS left. Look at that. Murph doesn't have any ERS either. Geldy, 4 tenths down on Vettel. Merv is going to be the one trying to make an overtake. DRS wide open, but the opportunity is not there. Has to wait. Both the McLaren drivers now have a clean grid, a clean field, a clean air, whatever you want to call it. And the only thing they need to do is not end up into each other. Don't crash, don't cause any incidents, just keep it clean, you know? Merv on the tail of Seco's ass again. As they're 3 tenths behind each other, and we're still halfway past the race. So we still have 18 more laps of action between these 4. Well, of course, depends on if someone crashes. Merv trying to make a switchback work there. Did not quite work well. Oh, but he's gonna make the overtake. No, Seco's ass coming into the pits. 3-second time penalty for Groen. And is that Groen who just came into the pits? And his teammate also just came into the pits. Wait, no. What did Groen get a 5-second time penalty for? Geldy now making the overtake on Vettel. Goes back onto the racing line. He's going to be stuck right behind that Mercedes driver, and I don't think Murph has the DRS. So Geldy waited for this opportunity, and he took it right away. DRS wide open for Geldy. Here he comes. Oh, but the Mercedes driver also has the DRS for some reason. I don't know why he does have that DRS, because he had no one in front of him. Which had a 3-second time penalty. He's all the way in P17, and he's not going to gain or lose any positions due to that 3-second time penalty. Well, gaining a position is going to be rather hard when you gain a penalty. But here comes Windhawk around the outside of Seco Zaz. Seco Zaz, who is on those fresh tires, though. So it will be no problem for the Aston Martin keeping that position from Windhawk, and possibly neither through Sector 2 or Sector 3. Let's go to Geldy here on the tail of Murph. We've seen this battle going on for quite some laps already, but I'm really wondering when Geldy is going to take the lead of this little group, because Geldy, he has been there. He's one of the more consistent guys on the field. You know, he barely crashes out. Vettel coming into the pits apparently. Or is that Tomo? It is not going to be Tomo. It is Vettel indeed. He was on those hard tires, but yeah, he still had to come into the pits because he didn't come into the pits yet. Geldy making up a position. Down the inside he goes. And Murph, nothing he can do about that. DRS wide open for the Alpine driver, and he will have another DRS opportunity there down the straight. Here comes Murph with a good exit. Wait, look at that. A good exit from Murph, but that DRS is just too strong for Geldy at the moment. Murph will go back onto the racing line to not mess up his next corner. It's going to be one of the most difficult corner sections because you've got a very slow corner section through there. Turn 6 and 7 at the moment for both those drivers as they're entering Sector 2 at the moment. Turn 8, 9, 10, 11 is one of the most difficult corner sections here too. It's actually all difficult corner sections because you really need to watch out where the guy is you're battling against. Let's go on board with Windhawk again on the tail of the Croatian driver, Seco Zaz. Seco Zaz is actually doing a great job keeping this position from the Williams driver. We might want to have a quick look with the position changes. 12 positions gained for Tomo, so also Mr. Insomnia gaining 8, so that poor sprint race actually paid off quite well. I think they would have been able to get into the top, you know, the top 3, top 2 possibly if they kept their positions. But for now, that is not what happened. They're in P5. They're going to be shooting up a position because Rhino Hussey just came into the pits. And where is he going to end up? Possibly behind the Reaper. That would be fatal for the McLaren driver. Oh no, he will be in front of him. It will be in front of them by quite a bit of time already. So no need to worry, no need to panic for Rhino Hussey there. He's going to be behind Mr. Insomniac by about 6.6 seconds. Might want to go on board with Apex Joe here. He's got the DRS. Down the straight they come. This is a very common overtake opportunity. We've seen the most overtakes here down the straight already. Down the inside he goes. As 1 second, guys. Oh, yo, Mr. Slowly in the chat. How are you doing, mate? I'm just gonna have a quick look online with the video to see if the quality is back. So, Youngie coming into the pits at the moment. Murph is still on the tail of Geldy. Oh, Seco Zaz also on the tail of the Red Bull driver. He's caught up to the Reaper quite well there. Youngie coming into the pits. And here we've got Windhawk making the overtake on Vettel, and a little bit of dirty driving there between Vettel and Windhawk. Not too sure who was in the wrong there. I'm just a commentator. I'm not going to make any any comments on that. But Apex Joe has caught up to Chef Badger too. I think he made a little mistake. He's all over the place. Chef Badger coming into the pits. No, it's not Chef Badger. It's Foxy actually. Groon is coming into the pits too. Seco Zaz is on the tail of that Red Bull driver. Let me have a quick listen here. Yeah, so the thing is quite well. The quality is quite well, like usual. Seco Zaz on the tail of the Reaper. Let me have a quick look at Mr. Insomniac here. We've been quite consistent. His teammate and himself gained more than 10 positions during this race already. And I don't think they have to come to the pits anymore. Mr. Insomniac on 4-lap old hard tires. How did he manage to do that? The only driver he will have troubles with keeping up with is Melonade. We've got Rhino Hussey dropping back to P6. He's about 5 seconds behind Mr. Insomniac, so he might be able to catch up to Mr. Insomniac, but then later during the race, he will have troubles keeping up with the Ferrari driver simply because his tires will be less fresh. Mr. Insomniac going around the outside of the AlphaTauri driver, and I think that's going to be an easy move and an easy opportunity for Mr. Insomniac to run away from Mr. Lemonade. Geldy also catching up to Murph, so these two have come into the pits early during this race, during that virtual safety car, if I'm not mistaken, or the actual safety car. I don't know, did we already have an actual safety car? I can't tell you for sure, but I doubt they will come into the pits again. 13 more laps to go. So we're past 66% of the race. And it's a two-way battle. Well, a four-way battle, actually, for the top 4. It's a two-way battle for the lead of the race and a two-way battle for the top 3. Merv getting a 3-second time penalty. So the top 2 currently already has a 2-second time penalty. So they will definitely drop a position. Rhino Hussey has caught up to Tomo already on those medium tires. Look at that. Tomo is going to drop a lot of positions if he's coming into the pits. I'm not sure if he's actually coming into the pits because that will be very fatal. Tomo is keeping up the McLaren driver. The McLaren driver also making the overtake almost on Tomo, but they kind of had a snap coming through turn 15. Now Tomo comes into the pits, goes onto the medium or the soft tires. Both the McLaren drivers will have to make a comeback race work right now. Rhino Hussey about 5 seconds behind Melonade. And Melonade still catching up. Well, keeping up with Mr. Insomniac. Oh, my bad. A battle on the tail of that Red Bull driver. Here he comes. Down the inside he goes. Will that be an overtake done? Yes, it will be. Beautiful overtake there by the German driver. And he's up for a redemption race because he's been having contact lately during this race. And I think, you know, oh, there's quite a bit of battling going on here up ahead. We've got an Alpine driver, Geldy, and it's a four-way battle. Everyone is within 1 second of each other except for Melonade. Sean with a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's going to be all the way in P16. Did we retire from the session? Doesn't look like it. He's going on another set of soft tires. Here comes Mr. Insomniac down the inside of Merv. As it seems like he left enough room. Merv weaving a little bit there, coming through that part of the track. Youngie, he's gone onto the soft tire, so a different strategy than his teammate. So it might be logical to let his teammate go through here, Rhino Hussey. Because, you know, Youngie is on the faster tire, so it would be ideal to have the faster tire runner being at the front of the grid. I mean, being at the front of your group. Geldy getting overtaken by Mr. Insomniac down the straight. And that's something you see very often during a race of Mexico. A lot of moves down the straight. I think we've seen more than 50 moves already down the straight. It's unbelievable. Murph trying to make a way around Geldy, and there's the yellow flag in sector 3. Who is causing that one? It seems like that's going to be Chef Badger all the way in P15, but he's not going to lose any more positions. 3-second time penalty for Sean. He's really pushing for that fastest lap. Let me have a quick look who has the fastest lap at the moment. Foxy on the soft tires. So I think it will be a battle all the way at the back of the grid for that fastest lap. So you get 1 extra point during the race. Well, for the race. For the Drivers' Championship. Oh my days. Murph now 3/10s behind Geldy. And he's going to try to make his way around the Alpine driver, but it's just not there. Mr. Insomniac is now running away from these 3. That's Melonade. Oh, Geldy comes into the pits. Interesting strategy there. Might go onto the soft tires. But I don't think he will be able to last very long on the hard tires anymore. Neither is Merv, actually. Sean, who now does get the fastest lap of the race. Or was that Mr. Insomniac? I couldn't tell you. It was Youngie on the soft tires. Very interestingly. He also has the DRS, so that's quite of a bonus. DRS wide open. DRS wide open. He will not make the overtake though. Simply because Melonade has that DRS too. Oh, maybe he can make a switchback work. He goes too fast onto the brakes. Nothing he could have done there. Melonade is a very experienced driver. Like you see, he's in P3, possibly in P2 due to that penalty from Murph. And he also has to come into the pits, Murph. So. And Youngie will be struggling at the end of the race because there's still 10 more laps to go. He's already been on those soft tires for 4 laps. Goes into the curb a little bit too much. Might have costed him a couple of hundreds. Ooh, Youngie going into the back of the AlphaTauri driver. Backed out though. But his teammate is also struggling, trying to get past Youngie. So, not sure what these guys were up to. Murph is coming into the pits though. He's going to serve. No, he's not going to serve. Is he going to serve? If it's a 5-second time penalty, he's going to serve. If it's a 3-second time penalty, he cannot serve that in the pits. Here comes Youngie. Does not have a lot of straight line speed, even with the DRS. A lot of weaving going on there from the AlphaTauri driver. That might be a penalty though. Youngie trying to go down the inside on the soft tires. Oh, and he might have coughed. He might have given his own teammate a front wing damage. Murph, where is he going to end up in? It's not going to be close to anyone. 5 seconds behind Geldy and 5 seconds in front of Tomo. Tomo dropped back 10 position. Dropped back all the way from P5, I think he was in, to P10. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know, you didn't have a great sprint race either. So, but then looking at Mr. Insomniac, he's currently leading the race, and he's ahead of Youngie and Rhino Hussey by about 5 seconds. So, I think he's got a good chance at winning this race because he's also on quite some fresh, hard tires. Here comes Youngie down the inside of Melonade. Melonade is finding himself in a McLaren sandwich at the moment. Oh, Rhino Hussey touches the AlphaTauri driver there a little bit. Melonade is struggling on those hard tires. It's a tough time, and he's now keeping up Rhino Hussey a little bit. He will not have the DRS, I'm afraid. Will he have the DRS? He will have the DRS, apparently. Rhino Hussey sticking to the tail of that AlphaTauri driver. Here he comes. Melonade just has so much straight line speed. The DRS definitely gave him an opportunity to get back to Youngie. The fastest lap for Geldy with a 119. Geldy currently in P7, trying to catch up to Sacco Zaz. And Vettel, who had a couple of incidents already today. The Red Bull driver crashed out in Sector 2. I think it is a Red Bull driver. It might be the Reaper. He's on the tail of Apex Joe. Here he comes. No, it's the Reaper down the straight, making the overtake on Apex Joe. It was the other Red Bull driver. And a Mercedes driver. Is that Sean? That is Sean indeed. He's cutting the corners. It's possibly going to come into the pits and retire from the session. Not 100% sure though. Rhino Hussey on the tail of Melonade. And they're just losing so much time to Youngie. Look at that. Melonade is just annoying McLaren driver at the moment. Oh, and it doesn't give too much room to Rhino Hussey there. Beautifully done though by Rhino Hussey, finally getting around Melonade. He's been making it unnecessarily hard for the McLaren driver to get back to his teammate and stick to the toe of his teammate. Now he's 2.3 seconds behind, and those soft tires are still not giving in. Seems like the soft tires are still faster than the medium tires at this point during the race, but one second, guys. Alright, we're back at it again. Sacco Zaz on the tail of Vettel. 3-second time penalty for the Reaper though. I mean, he's all the way in P11. Shouldn't matter too much. Rhino Hussey trying to catch up to Youngie now. 2.5 seconds. He's not getting any closer to his teammate. Melonade losing some more time coming through Sector 3 at the moment. Yellow flags for Sector 3, that might be an Alpine driver. Who's that? Geldy? Might have been Geldy though. Seco's ass on the tail of Vettel once again. And there's 3 people now within 1 second of each other, so there will be a little bit of a DRS train. Will any of these guys have the DRS? Yes, it appears like it. Geldy does not have the DRS, so he will lose time to Seco's ass. Now here comes Seco's ass down the inside of Vettel. It seems like Vettel is able to make that overtake. There's still 6. Wait, is there a safety car? No, that's a. Oh no, never mind. I thought there was a safety car because that white dot in Sector 2 seemed like a yellow dot. The Reaper retiring in the pit lane. Not sure what he's done that for, because the top 15 scores points. I mean, it is what it is. Where did he? Who is that? Is that the Reaper or is that Chef Badger? I think it's Chef Badger though. The Reaper probably retired in the pit lane, didn't he? Yeah, he did. He did. So a 3-way battle, 4P5, but it looks like that is going to be for Seco's ass, simply because Vettel and Geldy both have a penalty. And Tomo trying to get his way around Vindog. I was going to say get his ass around Vindog, but that, I mean, I do think these guys could appreciate that. Geldy find his way around Vettel. And Vettel, you know, let's have a quick look with the position changes. He, at some point during the race, he was all the way at the back of the grid, and then he got back up. He's only lost 1 position to the position where he started in during this race, so it's not bad considering he had a couple of incidents. I mean, minor contact, but it's still incidents. It still makes you lose time. Here comes Geldy around the outside of Seco's ass. It looks like Seco's ass is not going late onto the brakes to keep that position. Geldy now up into P5. And let's have a quick look with the penalties too, because we haven't taken a look at that for a long time already. 3 seconds for Mr. Insomniac, 3 seconds for Rhino Hussey, and 3 seconds for Geldy. We've got 3 seconds all the way from P7 to P9, 12 seconds for Vindog, and we've got 3 seconds all the way from P11 to P13, 9 seconds for Foxy, and 11 seconds for Sean. I'm not sure what Sean is doing at the moment, but he's not keeping it within track limits. Another 3-second time penalty for Sean. Very interestingly enough, both Red Bull drivers are retiring in the pit lane, so Chef Badger is also going to retire in the pit lane. Very unfortunate to see drivers retire in the pit lane when league owners are rewarding points for you finishing in the top 15, but I guess it is what it is. Nothing can be done about that, but you know, it's your own choice. Seco's ass, who's now holding up Vettel. And they're losing time to Geldy. Look at that, 1.9 seconds. I don't think Seco's ass will be able to run away with a position there from Geldy from that 3-second time penalty, because look at that, 2.1 seconds at the moment. It will be very dangerous. Vettel on the tail of Seco's ass. Here he comes, down the straight he goes. Will that be an overtake? It does look like it. Vettel down the inside he goes. DRS wide open. Ooh, a little bit of contact there between Seco's ass and Vettel. I don't think there has been any damage done. Go on the tail of Merv too. I've been saying that a lot lately, on the tail of someone. Oh, and there's some incidents going on in Sector 1. Oh, that is an AlphaTauri. Who's that AlphaTauri? Melanade. No, it's not Melanade. But the guys are catching up to Melanade though. Melanade, who's on 16 lap old hards. Geldy coming through the S's. He's only 1.2 seconds behind the AlphaTauri driver, and these soft tires will be good to go. Youngi's tires should do the job too, because here is the thing. Mr. Insomniac has a penalty. He's got a 3-second time penalty. Youngi just needs to get within that 3 seconds of Mr. Insomniac, and he will be able to run away with the race win here. He's got his teammate right behind him, but he's got that penalty too. Yo, Benji. Quite a bit happened already. A lot of position changes. We had Mr. Insomniac and Tomo in the top 2 during the sprint race. They dropped back all the way to P17 and 16, if I'm not mistaken. Here comes Geldy around the outside of Melanade. Quite an easy move, but he's on those fresher soft tires. So they dropped back all the way to the back of the grid during the sprint race. They started there too, and then during the race, currently in P1 and P9, so not bad at all. And then Youngi did not qualify. He had a disqualification due to one-shot qualifying, so he had to start all the way from P20 during the sprint races. He caught up to top 5, I think. And then now he's currently up for a battle with P1 due to a penalty for Mr. Insomniac. So it's going to be quite close. I don't think Rhino Hussey needs to make it more difficult for his teammate, because he's not going to catch up to Mr. Insomniac at all in 3 laps. I don't think that's a possibility. So he just needs to wait here. He just needs to wait, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do. A little crash in Sector 3. Who crashed out? That might be the Williams driver coming into the pits. That is going to be Widget. He might want to give his teammate a DRS. That is a good one. Rhino Hussey is going to go down the inside, and he's going to make the overtake. So now Youngie will lose a bit of time to Mr. Insomniac, I'm afraid, due to dirty air. Haha, we've got Benji in the chat. Go on, Mr. Insomniac, doing good. He's doing a great job at the moment, and I feel like Youngie is making it unnecessarily difficult for his teammate. No, the other way around. Rhino Hussey is making it unnecessarily difficult for his teammate, and he might definitely get frustrated by him, because he's costed him about half a tenth. No, a second actually. A second. He was 3.2 seconds behind Mr. Insomniac, and now he's even losing more time. He's about 3.8 seconds behind Mr. Insomniac at the moment, and they're heading into lap 35 out of the 36. Yeah, as I said, it's going to be unnecessarily difficult. Yellow flag in Sector 1, I should say. Might have been Sean again. It is Sean indeed. Down the straight he goes. He's going to let the Haas driver go past. Did he retire from the session? No, he didn't. What's happening to Sean? Is he running out of fuel? Already? No, he's not running out of fuel. I think he's just saving fuel. Wait, hold up. I'm confused. It doesn't matter. Is anyone actually struggling with fuel? Youngie isn't. Neither is Rhino Hussey. And neither is Mr. Insomniac. Oh, Geldy is running out of fuel. Geldy is gonna run out of fuel. He is having troubles. He's having troubles. He's having big time troubles. Neither of the other guys have fuel problems. With Geldy, it definitely is gonna ghost. Youngie on the tail of his teammate. Once again, losing unnecessary tens coming through Sector 1 and Sector 2. They just need to catch up to Mr. Insomniac, and I don't think this is the way to do. Although, I mean, they're gaining some time, though. I mean, at least Rhino Hussey is. Youngie doesn't seem to be gaining too much. 3.5 seconds behind Mr. Insomniac at the moment. They're going very, very slow coming through this part of the track. I think Sean is giving the guys a little bit of a tow. Oh, yeah, he is. Look at that. He's giving the guys a little bit of a tow. He wants to keep things interesting. Oh, look at that. Beautifully done. Both the guys will now have the DRS, and they're catching up to Mr. Insomniac. Look at that. Youngie is going to be within 3 seconds of Mr. Insomniac, possibly, as we're heading into the last lap of the race. Youngie now makes the overtake. He needs to push. He needs to do everything he can to push again close to Mr. Insomniac. He's 2.6 seconds behind. He needs to keep those 3 seconds or less to Mr. Insomniac. He's losing a bit of time. Rhino Hussey, don't go for it. Don't go for it. Don't go for it. Almost goes in, and he crashes out his teammate. Oh my days. What a way to rent this race. Oh my days. He's just costed his teammate a race win. He has just costed his teammate a race win. Mr. Insomniac will run away with the win of this race. Tomo making the overtake on Geldy. As I said, Geldy doesn't have any... he doesn't have fuel left. Geldy, you're one of a kind, mate. Look at that. Vettel trying to find his way around Melanade and Youngie. He is going to be frustrated. Look at that. Rhino Hussey knows he fucked up. Otherwise, he wouldn't have given that position back. Youngie is going to be frustrated. I mean, at least if he's that kind of driver. He doesn't have any fuel left anymore, though. He might have been fuel saving a little bit. He's 7 tenths behind Mr. Insomniac, so he caught up a little bit there. But, oh, Geldy getting a 3. Oh, I saw that yesterday, too. He's just cutting the corners. 10 seconds for Geldy, unfortunately. Will anyone be able to gain a position due to penalties? Doesn't look like it. Tomo making the overtake on Seko's ass. Seko's ass didn't have any fuel left. And it seems like a lot of guys are struggling at the moment. What is Groen doing? What is Groen doing? What is Groen doing? That is my question. What is he doing? Okay. Interesting driving from the Mercedes driver. And also Foxy is struggling with his fuel all the way in P13. X was also struggling. Look at that. Oh, X, a 3-second time penalty, lost his front wing. What a chaotic end of the race, guys. But I guess that'll do. Cock-a-doodle do, or however the Americans say it. Cock-a-doodle do. Is that something? I think it is. Oh, that's very disappointing fireworks there. Look at that. It looks like confetti. Foxy is the only one to still come across the line, but the problem is he's got no fuel, so we will be here for a couple of more seconds. Seconds more, however you want to say it. Foxy coming down the line to grab P13 or 14. So here we've got the standings. What will the results be? P13 for Foxy, like I said. I thought it was going to be P14, but I mean, it is what it is. Let's have a quick look here. Mr. Insomniac P1. He had a pretty good race, getting full points during the actual race. Youngie in P2 and Rhino Hussey in P3. Further, we've got Melanade, Vettel, Seko's Ass, Palmo, Vindog, Apex Joe, and Geldy in the top 10. And then we've got Groen, Murph, Foxy, Widget, and then Thatcher's Sean. Thatcher, who did not race, unfortunately. He retired from the session and left the session during the sprint race. Sean, and then X, and then we've got our DNFs, Chef Badger, Reaper, and Oranje Boom Brown. Well, let's go to the whole weekend, as Mr. Insomniac is going to take the most points home. Rhino Hussey in P2 and Youngie in P3. He's going to be frustrated, though, with his teammate not letting him through or crashing him out in that last lap. He could have gotten the race win, but unfortunately, he didn't get the race win. He would have gotten P1 in the overall sprint results, but I guess it is what it is. Guys, this is going to be the Mexico Grand Prix for the Formula 1 Racing League. I would like to thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure to check out my socials underneath, well, here, underneath my picture. You've got my name, Phoebe Thomas SS on Twitch. Make sure to follow my Twitch if you haven't already, and give a thumbs up if you haven't already on this video, if you liked it, of course. Subscribe also to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next week. My name is Phoebe Thomas. I was your commentator, and peace out.
Say I'm good-hearted, but I'm just getting started. Got my eyes on the target. No, no. Till the battle's won, till kingdom come. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty. They say I'm dangerous, 'cause I broke all their cages. No, I won't sit and take it. No, no. They left me for break, there's just more pain to burn. They'll never